Welcome to DIADEMY IAS. Today's in this session, we are going to discuss about some questions. That means the last year, mainly 220, 221, 222. And 2021, 2022, 2023. This type of different areas of questions, mainly based on the previous UPSC question paper. And here let's discuss about how to write an answer in UPSC English Literature Mains optional paper, and this is the important point we are going to discuss in this session. So let's start. Okay, so let's start with the question. We can see the question. The flowering of Renaissance values in Elizabethan theatre explain how the theatre in Elizabethan period was the focal point of age, then Jacobean era. So these are the previous question paper based on UPSC previous question. And here we can see Renaissance. And here we can see Elizabethan period. And this Jacobean era. And 2022, 2021, 2020. This is the previous question paper, 2022, 2021, 2020. And we can see this question as 10 marker. Normally, UPSC questions, mains question, maybe 5 marker question, 10 marker, and 15, and 20. In these four different types of questions, we can expect in UPSC optional mains English literature question. And here we can see the questions in questions for 10 marks. Okay. So the point is, now we can discuss how to write the answer, this type of questions. We already discussed about Elizabethan age. What is Elizabethan age? The role of Elizabethan age in English literature, and how this age influenced the development of English literature, and which are the important writers in English literature. All these points we already discussed. Okay. So here let's discuss about these questions, and based on this question we can discuss a topic, Renaissance. What is the importance of Renaissance, and what is Reformation, and what happened during that time, and which are the important writers. So today's session is based on this question. Okay. So now you can understand that how UPSC will ask questions from each topic. From our optional class, that means whenever we start the optional class, we also provide this type of questions based classes. That means when we complete a session or when we complete a topic, we just go through the previous question paper and we will start writing the answer. Okay, so that's the strategy normally we follow to cover optional paper. It means that after each topic, after the topic, you feel confidence how to write the answer relating with a particular topic. So that is a strategy we normally use, the optional preparation. And here let's discuss about the topic. And here the topic is, you can see, Renaissance, Elizabethan, and Jacobean. And these three questions are UPSC previous question based on 3 years, 2022, 21, and 2020. But basically we can say that continuous or the repetition of question from the same area. So, but the perspective of the question is different. Here, the flowering Renaissance, it means that Renaissance starting of Renaissance, that means beginning of Renaissance is the uh, perspective of this question. And how this values, Renaissance values, influenced in Elizabethan theatre. Okay, it means that here theatre means dramas. We know that Elizabethan period is considered as the period of drama, specifically tragedy, right? And at the same time, we already discussed that Elizabethan period is considered as the best period for poem. Okay, best period for poems. And we already said that Elizabethan age is the age of drama or plays and age of poetry or poems, right? So how this literary works influenced, or how Renaissance impact or Renaissance period influenced the work of Elizabethan literature. So that is the meaning of this question. And the second question is, in 2021, UPSC asked a question that is, explain how the theatre in Elizabethan period was focal point of age. Its point also we discussed in the last class. That means during the Elizabethan time, the theatre, specifically we discussed about the open air theatre was launched that time during the Elizabethan time, and a lot of literary works, specifically plays introduced, and different types of plays and different or a lot of talented writers were there that time. So all these are we discussed. So in this question is, we have to answer that perspective only. And next one is Jacobean era. We know that this era is also considered as a subdivision in this period. So through these questions, we can easily understand that what UPSC demands, what type of preparation is required to answer English literature. So whenever our orientation session, I explain that all literary questions, all optional papers, that means optional literature papers, all questions will be direct. And I said restricted. So here you can see this question is direct and restricted, and not in generalized way. And if you prepare this topic, Elizabethan period or Renaissance period, if you read once in this topic, you can easily answer this type of question. So English literature optional questions are very simple, straightforward and direct. Okay, so let's move into the answers, and answer mainly based on I would like to share the topic at the same time relating with this topic also good for answer, writing answer. Okay, then here we have to, the question is Renaissance. Okay, so Renaissance is the important theme of this question. So we can discuss what is Renaissance. So our answer, the introduction of this question, introduction of this answer must be include what is Renaissance. So we know that Renaissance, we discussed that what is Renaissance. We know that Renaissance is a rediscovery of Greek and classical language. Okay, Greek and classical language. Renaissance means rediscovery of Greek and classical language. It means that, what is classical language? We explained about when we discuss the topic Old English period and Middle English period. We explained about the role of different languages in England, specifically the Greek language, Roman language, Latin and all. And these language directly and indirectly influenced English language and the people in England. Okay, so actually Renaissance means that the rediscovery of Greek and classical language. Okay, and next one is this Renaissance, this period was actually rediscovery of civilization. That's the next point. Rediscovery of civilization. Okay, so we can elaborate this answer through this type of bullet points. So in this way, we will complete the syllabus. We will complete our syllabus. So whenever you go through the material, study material and all, you can easily recollect the points. So this pattern will follow in our optional class. Okay. Then civilization. What is Renaissance means? Renaissance means rediscovery of past writers, rediscovery of the presentation method of the past writers in the medieval time and then old period. And it also can be explained that we can explain that it is a rediscovery of culture, old culture. That means during the Renaissance time, the writers think that through the analyzation of ancient culture or the old culture in England, it will be useful for the transformation of people. That means transformation of society. That is the method the writers used here. And next one is this period is considered as the important period for vernacular language. What is vernacular language? We can include this point in our answer. What is vernacular language? It means that vernacular language means the language used by the common community in England. And we know that during the time of Old English period and Middle English period, the writers used their language as French or Latin, and these languages were unaware for the common people, and these writings mainly focused the higher community, specifically the highly educated community only. And the common people couldn't follow this text and literary works. So in case of Renaissance, mainly used vernacular language, and it will also helpful for the common people in England. Okay. And the next point is Renaissance period mainly focused on secular society, or it means that secular way of literary presentation. Okay. So the Renaissance period time, normally including the Elizabethan administration, and specifically Queen Elizabeth I, gave more priority for the common community or middle class community in England, and universalized the education and promoted vernacular language system. So we know that in the middle time or medieval English time, common people was rejected. Common people was people rejected from education system. That means they are prohibited from the better education. And the higher community, specifically the superior community, a religious community, enjoyed the high status. So here in this time, there was a secular way. What is secular way? Without caste based. That means in England, literature, education system, and all other literary works mainly based on secular ideologies or secular thing. It means specifically that not based on caste, not based on religion and all. All because literary works and literature was common to all or free to all. Okay, so that is the important point in the Renaissance period. And the next important point is humanism and system of thought. That means during this time, a new movement was started. That is called humanism. Okay, humanism was a movement actually started in England, all over England, and this movement was one of the steps to avoid all the inequalities. And through this movement, a lot of literary works, literary authors promoted the life of common people, and it will be also good for the common community. So that is the important point regarding with humanism. And this humanism also come in this field. So here these are the important points we discussed about the introduction of Renaissance. And when we write the answer of the question, in the last we already discussed the question, the previous question, the introduction of Renaissance we discussed. In this way we can write an answer. So let's discuss once again, quickly discuss once again the introduction of Renaissance. What is Renaissance? Renaissance means rediscovery of society. Here, what is rediscovery of society? Rediscovery of society means rediscovery of culture, rediscovery of literature, rediscovery of Greek and Roman cultural systems. But all these rediscovery spread all over England through vernacular language. Vernacular language means the language which used for the community, specifically common people. And we said through this Renaissance, actually Renaissance is a movement, and through this movement another important ideology introduced in England, that is humanism. Humanism, what is humanism? That we will discuss in the next slide. What is humanism? Humanism means human being is important than religious ideologies. So that is an ideology used in this Renaissance period. And the next important point is during the Renaissance time, all literary works and activities secularized. What is secularized of literature? Secularism in literature means a literature without the consideration of religion. So that is the important point relating with Renaissance. Okay, so let's discuss about the next point. The intervention of what are the impact of Renaissance in England? So here the role and impact of Renaissance. We can see the role and impact of Renaissance. Or the result of Renaissance. It means that intervention of the printing press, the consequence, why Renaissance spread rapidly in England, or why Renaissance was a successful movement in England, because the reason is printing, invention of printing. Through the invention of printing, common people was aware about their power. That means they actually, during that time in England, there was superstitious beliefs, religious partialities are there, a lot of inequalities were there in England. And when the printing press, when the invention of printing press, lot of people became aware about their rights and their possibilities in life. So that was one of the important impact. Next one is humanist learning and ideology. That means we already said what is humanist learning and ideology. Here humanism means importance of human. Importance of human, that is humanist ideology. And next one is popularization of new learning. That means in the ancient time or the old period in English literature and the medieval time or a middle English literature, there were the different types of learning, mainly based on superior, inferior partialities in England. Superior, inferior partialities existed in England. It means that education, learning language, better life, all these are restricted to the common people. But it was enjoyed by the superior community in England, mainly because of religion. It was based on religion also. So all these aspects changed with the impact of printing. And next one is Renaissance differed substantially. Why or how Renaissance differed? What are the impact or what are the result of Renaissance? That's the question. That's the point here. What are the impact of or what are the result of? What are the impact of or what are the result of Renaissance? The important impact is, one is reformation, and the second is emergent high culture, and third is resurgence of nationalistic sentiments. What is reformation? Reformation means change of society. Change of society. Then how the change of society, how it happened? Mainly change in social system, then change in religious attitude or religious way of living. Then third one is advancement of science and technology or advancement of science. Advancement of science. All these are the important result of Reformation. Okay, Reformation. Then what is the high culture? We already discussed that during the invasion of Romans, and we called it that period as Anglo-Norman period. Okay, that period, from that period, England became more advanced in the field of way of living and culture, and it leads to a new England. So mainly the impact of Roman and their language and their on their living way of living, all are changed the society in England. That means society in England changed with the new culture and tradition. This is another important point relating with the Renaissance. And the third one is resurgence of nationalist sentiments. What is nationalist sentiments? Because the people in England lived like a slave, because mainly, specifically we can say that from the period of Anglo-Saxons, and then there were lot of invasions there, specifically Anglo-Norman period, and in the period of Anglo-Saxons or Old English period, vernacular language was used in the different regions. But when the Romans arrived in England, the entire system was changed, specifically administrative systems, court language, education, all are changed. So, during this period, Renaissance period, it was used to improve their national sentiments. That means the common people in England was aware about their rights, their possibilities as a human being, what are the aims and responsibilities they want to accomplish. All these are the important awareness. All these are the important awareness caused by this Renaissance period. So that's an important point here. Okay. So these are the important impact of Renaissance in England. And next we can discuss about what is humanism. And here the Renaissance and Reformation. We know that Renaissance and Reformation means reawakening. Okay. It means that reawakening or reform the society. That is the meaning of this word. Okay. Then here let's discuss about the importance of humanism. Here we know that Renaissance means reawakening or rediscovery of society, and Reformation means the removal of all the superstitions and social evils and all. So let's discuss. Renaissance means reawakening. Okay, reawakening. Or it means that rebirth of society. Rebirth of society. Why Renaissance is called as a rebirth of society? So, people and society will change. People and society changed a lot. And the people was aware about their rights, and they acted to accomplish it. Okay. Then what is Reformation? Reformation means the total change of society. That means a society without partiality, a society without discrimination. That is Reformation. That is the important aim behind the Reformation. Actually, it was a movement, Reformation movement, and this movement was helped by different literary works, different literature, like different types of literary works. Okay, then what is this movement? It means that change the society, change the society through understanding, through understanding new ideas, understanding new ideas, then education and awareness. Okay, so this is a meaning of reformation. And what is actually reformation? What is the main things influence the reformation formation? Mainly it is printing. We know that the influence of invention of printing. Printing was an important reason. Then awareness from social and religious superstition. Okay, so these are the important points relating with reformation. Here reformation means reform the society. Okay, Renaissance means reawakening or rediscovery of society. Actually, this is a movement happened in England to acquire the freedom of thought, freedom of action, without the partiality or discrimination based in religion. And the literature and different literary works published during that time, and we know that Shakespeare, Wordsworth are the important writers during that time. A lot of different writers were there, but actually the aim was give the awareness to the people, mainly give the awareness to the people. That was the main aim behind Renaissance and Reformation. Okay, then next we can discuss about what is humanism. Humanism is an important point. We have to give the answer. We have to write in this answer. What is humanism? Humanism means, we know that humanism, impact of humanism, how humanism functions, or what are the role of humanism. Here we know that humanism is a scholarly and artistic movement. Okay, so let's discuss what is humanism. What is humanism? Humanism. What is humanism? Humanism means, the point is, humanism means a scholarly and artistic movement. It's a point number one. What is humanism? Humanism means scholarly and artistic movement. Okay, then what is the definition of humanism? The definition of humanism is more priority to human being or human life rather than religion or religious ideologies. Okay, that is humanism. Humanism means a movement it is started in Italy, and gradually it spread all over England. And what is the meaning of humanism? It means that humanism actually a movement, artistic and scholarly movement. It means that some scholars and writers use their literature to aware the society to aware the people, common people, through the common language. And what was the definition of humanism? It was a movement in Renaissance period. It means that society must give more priority to the human being or the human life rather than religious system or religious ideologies. So that is the point. And next we can discuss about what is the theme or what was the aim of humanism. The aim of humanism is glorify and elevate man. That is the theme or that was the aim of humanism. Glorify and elevate man. Okay, glorify and elevate man. It means that a lot of people are living in a suppressed way. They were suppressed by the high class community or rich people, and through this humanism, it's a movement, through the literature and through some sort of oration and all, this movement try to uplift the common people. So that is the aim behind humanism. Okay, and next we can discuss about which are the important authors, important writers in humanism. The important writers in humanism are, first one is Dante Alighieri. Important writers. Dante Alighieri. Okay, an important humanist writers. Then second one is Boccaccio. And third one is Petrarch. Okay, these are the important writers in humanism. So these are the important points relating with humanism. Let's quickly revise once again the point. What is humanism? Humanism is a movement, scholarly movement or artistic movement. Why it is scholarly movement and artistic movement? Because in this movement, lot of writers and scholars included, and mainly three important writers during that time: Dante Alighieri, Boccaccio, and Petrarch. These are the three important writers in that time. And next we can discuss about religion and humanism. Next we can discuss about religion and humanism. Religion and humanism. Okay, what is religion and humanism? Mainly, humanism promoted humanity rather than religious ideologies. We know that Catholic, Protestant, mainly Catholic Christianity was the dominant religious group in that time. And a lot of religious misbeliefs, superstitions imposed or injected the mind of the common people, and it badly affected their life and society. And this humanism promoted, through this humanism, the writers, specifically these writers, try to change the society, try to change the attitude of society or people. That is the important change happened in that time. Okay, so in case of two important religious humanists, okay, two important religious humanists were there in that time. First one is Erasmus. Who was from Dutch. And the second one is Thomas More. From England. Okay, these are the two important personalities. These are the three important personalities who worked in the field of religious humanism. It mainly means that the role of religion and the society, why religion impacted and how the religion played a role relating to the change of society. So these two important persons, Erasmus and Thomas More, they worked their own literary works, and through their literary works they challenged the society. They challenged the existing system, that is humanism. Okay, and Erasmus' important works. Let's discuss which are the important works of Erasmus. The important works of Erasmus is The Praise of Folly, The Praise of Folly, Praise, Praise, Praise of Folly. It's an important works of Erasmus during that time. And Clocky, and third one is On Fire Will. Okay, these are the three important literary works of Thomas More during that time. And what was the work of Thomas More? It's an important work. We know that we have 1516, that is Utopia. It's an important work. It's very, very important. Utopia. Utopia is a work by Thomas More. By Thomas More. Through these literary works, these writers promoted the society and they tried to change the attitude or the religious attitude of England. And mainly, what is Utopia? Utopia is an imaginary island. Actually, what is Utopia? Through this work, Utopia, Thomas More tried to convey an imaginary society. Actually, Utopia is considered as an England. The name of an island in England. It's an imaginary location. And through this work, Thomas More explained that in this island, the people are living with equality and without the religion, without religious roles, without any partialities, superior, inferior type of mindset. All people are living equally. It's an imaginary world, an imaginary island. That is Utopia. So all these literary works highly influenced the common people, and it changed the society. It was the main reason behind the change of society. So these are the important points relating with Renaissance, Reformation and humanism. Okay, so next we can discuss about the important poets in Renaissance period. Important poets in Renaissance period. The important writers here we can see Philip Sidney. Philip Sidney was an important writer during the Renaissance period. So all these you have to add in your answer, and it will give you the more score. It became useful for getting more score. Okay, his poetry is what is considered as a good poetry. Okay, his poetry is normally named as good poetry. And Philip Sidney is one of the most underrated poet in English Renaissance. The next one is his important poems. Which are the important poems? Astrophile and Stella. Astrophile and Stella, his important works. Then the Countess of Pembroke. Okay, so these are the important works, poems written by Philip Sidney in that time. And next one is, he also wrote poem relating with love and politics. His poem, not only his poems based on the religion and society, but also includes politics and love. Our next important Renaissance writer is Edmund Spenser. Okay, The next important writer during the Renaissance Reformation time is Edmund Spencer. Then Edmund Spencer published his important literary work, that is Fairy Queen. It's an important work during that time. This work also played an important role in the change of society in England. And next one is, he wrote epic poem. Mainly it was an epic poem. Okay, it was an epic poem. What is epic poem? Epic poem is a long narrative poem explaining about some sort of adventure or stories. That is epic. And next one is this Fairy Queen, this literary work highly influenced the society. And next one is John Milton. An important writer in that time is John Milton. And his contribution is mainly through Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. Okay, his important works mainly or highly influence the society. Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. The important works are here. And he mainly advocates, or he mainly explained the theme of morals and virtues. Morals and virtues. And he also promote integrity through his work. John Milton's work, he explained about the value of life, a life with integrity and respect. And next he is explained about the peace of mind relating with the common people, because we know that during that time the most writers used their literary works as the mirror of the society. We already discussed that what is literature. Literature, whatever the drama or poem or novel, whatever, literature means the mirror of society or mirror of a man. Actually, it reflects a society, like a society. It is a mirror. That means a literary work reflects a society, reflects a mind of man. Okay, so Milton work also was like a mirror. It reflects the society and it gives more ideas and ideologies or awareness to the society. So that's an important point regarding with Milton. Okay, next point is William Shakespeare. We know that William Shakespeare is one of the important writer in this period, and he is we can call as an accomplished poet. That means almost all works of Shakespeare explains about the noble life in England. We know that his plays, whenever we take all works of Shakespeare, Shakespearean plays or sonnets conveys the life or society of England. So he was considered as an accomplished poet in that time. And next one is Shakespeare wrote poems, and mainly Shakespeare wrote Shakespeare's most work are based on poems. Then later it changed into prose. That was the method of literary work in Shakespearean time. Okay, and this Shakespeare works gradually reach into a wide community or worldwide people. That means we know that in all over the world now Shakespeare is admired by readers, students, because we know that without Shakespeare we can say that the English literature is not complete, because the role of Shakespeare in English literature is very, very important. And next is John Donne. What is the role of John Donne in this period? John Donne mainly based his works on religion. He wrote a lot of literary work relating with religion. basically relating with Catholicism. You know that we have the different religious system in England, mainly Catholicism and Protestant. And we already said that religious partiality was one of the problem existed in England. Okay, then his other important point is death. Death was also one of the point or one of the theme in his poem. And next, his other works are canonization. We have in UPSC syllabus in this topic, this poem, and Death Be Not Proud. All these are the important poems of John Donne. Okay, and this John Donne works highly inspired, and it was an inspiration for his contemporaries, like different contemporary writers in that time. All writers used this type of literary presentation that time. Then next one is Thomas Wyatt. Thomas Wyatt is an important writer in the period of Reformation and Renaissance, and mainly national identity. And here we can say that Thomas Wyatt poem mainly focused on national identity and awakening. National identity or national awakening. Okay. So these are the important points relating with Thomas Wyatt. Next is Christopher Marlowe, is also one of the important writer in this time, and he was a poet, playwright and translator in Elizabethan era, and he was considered as the most celebrated writer in England, and he also one of the important writer who used a revolutionary tone. What is revolutionary tone? It means that through his works, Marlowe used revolutionary ideologies. Used the revolutionary ideologies. That means the importance of right and existence, and his poems based on survival and social balance, how to exist a society, and the right of people and the partiality. All these are the important theme he used in his work. So that's what we can say, that Christopher Marlowe's works is considered as in a revolutionary tone. Okay, then next, Walter Raleigh is an other important Renaissance writer, and he was famous in his sonnet, that means the Ocean to Cynthia. It was an important writing of Walter Raleigh, and he also used his topic mainly his topics based on politics, satire, human life, then religion. All these are the important theme he used in his literary works. So here we started our session from this question, 2022, 21, 20 questions, UPSC mains optional paper. And from this question we discussed about 20 marks plus 20 plus marks answer in this session. Actually, this session was based on a question oriented session. That means we discussed 3 important questions and its presentation. So through this session, I hope you will understand the strategy, how to read and how to write the answer. Okay, so in this session you have to understand that all the UPSC questions, whenever we scrutinize the previous question paper, all are direct and straightforward, at the same time very simple. Okay, so in this session we analyzed the role of Renaissance, Reformation and Humanism. So let's discuss the next topic in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.